Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build model kits and hang out with you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the leg of the site, the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can say hi with those emotes, or you can just say hi with other things, or just say hi. Like Xander's just said hi, which is great. Mr. Bob is here. Hey, Mr. Bob, it's been a hot minute. Happy holidays, my friend. And Harold's here. Harold also is hosting the stream. Thank you for the host. Appreciate that. And Lashbrook is here, and Julie is here. We already got a great crew. Ristofan is here too. This is a stellar. Bobby Dice Roller is here. Bobby is here as well. Lord Crashington is here. Holy shit, this is great. What a way to start a Monday. A Monday stream. And we got our regulars all here. We got some people we haven't seen in a hot minute. We got some new folks. This is great. I can't wait to see who else decides to stop by tonight. You may have noticed here in our preview hangout, I'm here to build model kits and chew bubblegum, and I'm out of bubblegum. I'm always out of bubblegum because I don't chew bubblegum that unless I'm getting on a plane, and I'll do that for my ears. But yeah, you may have noticed it's no longer Christmas here on stream. Oh, Xander redeemed the gong. All right, Xander. You have used your channel points to redeem the gong. This is the gong. The story goes to the gong because it's been a little while since I said it. My roommate bought this. My former roommate bought this for a sketch and left it when he moved out. I said, "Hey, did you want this?" And he was like, "No, sorry." And I was like, "No, thank you. This is now a thing on my streams." So here we go. Oh, also Lord Crashington did it. So. All right, we have gonged. Thank you very much for using your channel points for the gong. I'm building Dom's Charger from F&F. Oh, Fast and Furious Dom's Charger. Ooh, Mr. Bob, that's a fun thing. Very cool. Oh, Harold wants you to play the soundboard, and Kyle Unit wants me at the gong. Double gong. This is the thickest manual I've ever had. Wow. Okay, so first, I'm going to hit the soundboard. Happy 1-year anniversary to the soundboard, which was purchased for Christmas last year by my mom. So let me hit some soundboard notes on this. And now I'm going to hit the gong again because Callie also wants me to hit the gong. So I'm going to do that. And here's another gong for you. There's another gong. As I was saying, before y'all started getting channel points happy with it, a thing that has happened here is that it is no longer Christmas in this room. Is it still Christmas in our hearts? Sure. Is it still Christmas in the living room and outside of this house? 100%. But here in this room, I have removed the tiny tree from behind me over there. I have taken, the background is now this spacey thing that I thought looked cool. We are back to our original border because it's busy and it's not. I've also been thinking, my first thought this week was to declare, and I did declare, that the 12 Days of Christmas started on Christmas Day and went to January 6th, and it was just going to be Christmas. But then I realized, what if we were just like, I don't know, it's 2021 right now. Like, let's just say the year's over. Why continue the year 2020 when we can just start acting like it's 2021? And I know the clock striking midnight doesn't automatically fix things. It's still a mess. But we can treat it like less of an internal mess, and we can start making the changes we want to make and doing New Year's resolutions. We'll talk a little bit about some New Year's resolutions coming up, probably. But yeah, so it's no longer a very long Christmas. It's now just a cool, relaxed time here. Oops, sorry about that. My chat just went weird. Chat got wonky on me for a second there. Sorry, everybody, about that. Let me just check this thing. Okay, great. But yeah, so I'm going to just test this here. So basically, my opinion is this, that I am going to say, if you want it to be, it's the year 2021. Harold says, my New Year's resolution is 4K. Winky. That is a joke, Harold. That's technically a joke. All right. So what's happening today? Well, we got the Hajiroboshi. It's the Hajiroboshi. It's from a mobile game based on Iron-Blooded Orphans. I have been doing some panel lining on it, and I'm feeling pretty okay about that panel lining. We've got to put the thrusters on the back. That's right. It's got thrusters like this thing transforms into a plane, which it does not. So we got to put the thrusters on the back because it's got busters, butt thrusters. And we got to build the shield and the kind of like club sword and the little tiny gun. We got to build those things, and then we'll panel line that stuff as we go, and then we will put it aside, and then we will start our Double O Quanta high grade, which was bought by Lashbrook. Thank you, Lashbrook. I feel like I'm there. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't feel centered. Uh, and centered. Haha. All right, so I'm going to retweet my tweet, put the word out there, let people know that we're going and it's happening, uh, and see if we can get a few butts in the seats, as it were. Digital seats, butts in their own seats. But yeah. All right, so let's go to the Hajiroboshi. Okay, so if you haven't seen this kit, here it is right here. This is the Hajiroboshi. We have done some panel line to it. This is a nice pale pink, a very light pink color, which I really enjoy. Too many stickers on this kit. Just too many stickers. Just annoying. And we're about to put a big sticker on it. Now, we will do this. I did experiment here. We've been doing markers. If you missed the last stream, you might not have seen. We now have some a black Gundam marker and a gray and a brown. Now, I've been doing gray on this pink, and originally I was doing black on vibrant colors like red and yellow. But for the weapon, for the thrusters in the back, I'm experimenting with using brown. The idea being that cool colors like blue, you're going to be using your black, as well as gray colors for that. But your vibrant, your lively colors like red and yellow, you probably want to use the brown, and that's what this is. This is the brown here, I don't disagree. I do think that has looked pretty good. So the big thing, which I didn't realize as I was doing it, is I started doing my panel lining, not realizing this piece of the red right here and the other side where the line is, we're going to put a sticker on there. Because you can probably see there, this thruster is two-tone. So we have this pink sticker that's supposed to match the plastic, and it does. It does a good job of matching the plastic. We got to put that on this before we put the little wing there, which is a bummer. I mean, it's a high grade. That happens in high grades. We are used to this. But just because I'm used to it doesn't mean I have to like it. And in fact, I don't like it. I do not like this at all. I think putting a giant sticker on a thing is a bummer. We're going to do it because it came with it. But again, I am not a huge fan of this huge-ass sticker that I am now applying to this kit. All right, so let's try to line that up right. And then we'll fold it over. Try to line this up right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, does it look better as a two-tone piece? Sure. I'm sure it does. But would I prefer to have this be two pieces of plastic that clip onto one another, connect? Yes, much rather that. So then we're going to take our line here, and we are going to attempt to not get any ink on our sticker because we can't fix that mistake. So we'll just do that. Great. And then a new addition to our markers, to our use of markers here, is the big eraser. That's right. We were using tissues before. We also have Q-tips, which we can certainly make use of, which are better for more control than a tissue. But the eraser is a fantastic tool for just hitting the top layer of whatever you just done, getting up anything that is not in your panel lining area that you want to clean up. This thing is great. I've been making use of that because I did panel line this ahead of time here. And this is the back, like this is all optional, right? Like if I was doing this for display purposes, I most likely wouldn't be doing the thrusters at all because I wouldn't have a pose where you even saw these thrusters. You may see them on an angle, but you wouldn't be seeing them. You wouldn't see this like front and center. So, uh, yeah, I definitely don't think I would have originally done that. But because I'm getting used to the idea of using um, what do you call it? Oh, using stickers. I want to get better at it. So I am, or sorry, markers, not stickers. I'm doing a sticker now. I want to get better at markers, and to get better at it, I have to do it a lot. So I am taking advantage of every opportunity to apply stickers and then put markers on things. All right, so I've applied the sticker. That's fine. And then I'm going to put on the next piece, which is B11. Then I will do panel. I'm going to actually connect this and then do panel lining, I think. I will do my panel lining, but there. Does it slow down the process of model kit building that I've been stopping to do it as I go? Yeah, but it's also way easier to do it as you're applying the pieces and then to look over it to see if you want to do anything else when it's on there. I just think it looks way better to do it. All right, so will that be tough to do? That spot will be tough to do. This spot will not. So let's do that first. Oops. It will be, or we can do both of them first. It will be difficult to get into this spot here because it will be too close to the fin. So we'll just do that now. And we're using gray on our pink. And was that supposed to be the other way? Did I put this on backwards? Maybe I did. Maybe I can get this up and flip this the other way. I may have put this on wrong. It's early. It hasn't really set. Yeah. Yes, I did. I put this on backwards. Yep. All right. So we're just going to go in here. I'm going to find the spot that I want to do, which is this line here. Just going to hit that. You can be a little sloppy with it. Like I said, you can do right there. I'm going to use my finger for that, but then I'll also hit it with the eraser. And again, you can be a little sloppy because we're going to hit it like this. Clean that up. And then we'll pop over here and clean this up. Great. That's all we need to do for that part of the thruster. And then we can attach it here, there. And then we can look at it and go, do I want to do around this here? Do I want to do that spot there? I think I do. So I will hit this here. And hit this here. And yeah. And we'll just clean this up. Kind of go over this. Yeah. Cool. And again, this piece of equipment looks like it should be very much looks like it should be part of a transformation. It is not part of a transformation. And that's weird, but it's true. Anyway, I mentioned it, so let's talk about it. Let's get into it. New Year's resolutions. For me, getting some sort of part to full-time job that I can do down here that is safe, that I can do while still being safe for my folks, is my top priority. That's not really a resolution. That's just like a thing I want to do. So I've been thinking like, okay, well that's not a resolution. I need to have like a resolution. What am I thinking? I would like to read more books in 2021. I don't read enough. I'm not stimulating that part of my brain. I would like to sit in a room, like the living room, the porch when it warms up. We got a nice screened-in porch here. Um, and I'd like to sit with a physical book or Kindle, my iPad Mini, and read. I think that is a thing that I would like to do more of in the year 2021. Be more mindful of that. Um, I would love to hear from y'all if y'all have thoughts of things you would like to do in 2021. Your New Year's resolution. Xander says my New Year's resolution is to win a wrestling match. Okay, all right, hell yeah. Well, good luck to you, Xander, on that. Um, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I think that like there's always those things that are like there are things that are just like within our reach, and there are things to be mindful of. Like I would like to reach out to a few people that I haven't talked to in a while, in the beginning of next year. That's the thing I'd like to do. Lord Creston says get vaccinated. Yeah, that is that to me is one of those like no brainer things where like yes, I would like to get vaccinated. Uh, the full vaccination process. I would like that to happen for me, 100%. Especially here living with my folks. That is very important to me. That be a thing that I get done. But yeah, I think there's there are a few other minor things. Yeah, reaching out to people. Maybe get back into podcasting. Harold says. Okay, yeah, that's a fun one. Yeah, for me it's um like I have goals when it comes to what I'm doing here, but those are things that like a lot of it is just like okay, it would be great if more people kind of checked out what I do. One thing I would like to do that I did and really enjoyed. I only did it once this year. I had guests on the stream. I did my birthday stream and had people come on to play Jackbox games. We did audio only. We didn't do video, and I think that's probably for the best uh, on this. Um, in my internet here, my connection. But yeah, I would like to do that. I guested on a couple streams. I would like to do that more. But yeah, even if it was just this, if I was sharing my screen and sharing this window and someone just saw my OBS window, but have somebody like hang out while I was doing this, I think could be really neat. Or on one of my game streams, have somebody like, if I get video wrestling popular and see, okay, video game wrestling, or yeah, all right. So you have people to play against. That yeah. So for me, it's like yeah. I like to well one. I like to be on more things, do more stuff, but yeah, having guests on for like when I'm playing Hearthstone or Pokemon, have some people hang out with me while I do it, and you know, I think that could be very fun. I would like to do that, but then also perhaps have opportunities uh, to stream with other people and hang out and do more video stuff. I think that would be neat. I had thought to do a that my awards. I was like, oh, I should ask people to like shoot video stuff. But I think I'd like to do that, something similar. So this year I was part of PAX Online, and I did Pat Bear's Anime Club, and I think it worked out pretty good. It was pre-recorded, and I think it worked out well. So I've been thinking about like, well, what's stopping me from doing another video like that and doing like another one, just not for a panel, just try to ask some people whose opinions I'm very much interested in getting on anime, and just do another one of those. Do a topic based one, or you know our recommendations. Maybe like halfway through the year, do like what have we liked this year so far, and like focus on that. And be like anime to check out, and that came out this year. I think that could be a very fun idea. Um, So yeah, I've been thinking about maybe that being a thing, and then yeah, I wouldn't have a time constraint because I would be doing it, so we could go, make it a longer thing, do it as a live stream or do it as a pre-record. I haven't quite figured that out. Speaking of anime live streams, I'm doing one of those this coming Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. It will be Pat Bear's Anime Club Live. I will be doing my fall 2020 wrap up where I talk about the shows that I really liked in the fall season and shows I did not enjoy in the fall season because there were a few of them. The highs and lows, go over everything. Um, Related, uh, we won't be rating because it doesn't start until after half an hour after the stream ends. But at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, which is local 8:30 p.m. On Loading Ready Run tonight, we will have Beach Dairy. Will be doing his um, look at the year, or this season, I should say, and he'll also, I guess, do a preview of next season as well. So, uh, I announced mine first, but no, I'm just happy because they're bonus streams and they're very fun. Ooh, I don't want to do gray. That's right. I want to do brown. Um, but beaches are always really fun because I know that some of y'all at least have a kind of general idea of what I'm talking about when I talk about the games that or the anime I'm watching. When I talk about the end of the seasons, but that audience often their knowledge of what's going on in the anime season is when Beach talks about it. So I love their reactions to things. I don't know if there was anything super gross this season that is very Beach, but would freak out the audience. Yeah, I don't think there was a real ecchi show this season for him to be like into, and everyone else be like, "What the fuck?" Uh, the closest thing is Railroad-esque, which is just cute. And then I saw, hey, I'm gonna rant for a second because I think it's bullshit. Uh, the fucking Ashley and Watch Mojo over there talking about, I don't, I mean, I'm not saying he wrote the list, but somebody wrote the list. Watch Mojo talking about the worst anime of 2020. Put Railroad-esque in there. Railroad-esque is it's cute and fun. It's not hurting anybody. It's also like 3 minutes long. What? I was like, that is definitely not one of the worst shows. There have been some real stinkers this year, and I agreed with most of the list. But I was like, Railroad-esque is not one of the worst shows. There have been some real like, oh, what the fuck is this? Their number one, which of course I won't spoil, their number one was like perfect. I was like, oh, this better be on the list. And then it was the top one. And I was like, good. Yeah. Again, my best and worst of this year was, of course, Black Clover, which, wrapped up an incredible storyline and did very, very well. And I really enjoyed where it was going. And then also decided a very important thing to do was to do a filler arc where the main villains were tragic queer characters in a show that has almost zero queer representation. So that fucking sucked. That was unbelievably shitty. So I was very unhappy with that. And of course, I made my thoughts known. So yeah, so Black Clover gets definitely a demerit. Like I would even say like Fire Force Season 2 was just so disappointing. I didn't even call it out. If we're talking disappointing instead of worst, I would say, I mean, my most disappointing, like shouldn't have even been a season, shouldn't have been part of the thing. I would include Food Wars because this last season is bad, just very bad, just predictable and bad. Does anybody have any shows? It doesn't have to be anime. It could just be anything else. They have media they were very disappointed with in this year. I will say, video game wise, the more I think about it, I fell off Fire Force real fast this season. Yeah, Lashbrook, like basically as soon as they left China, I was like, I'm done because it's not going to get better than China because the beginning was bad because I was just like, okay, well, you're not going to be able to save this girl. And also, I don't, because she just murdered. She's a murderer. Like, her redemption arc is gonna take a little bit, but I don't care that you can't do this. Um, and this bumbling character in the first season is suddenly an incredible villain, and I was like, okay. Um, and then they went to China, and it was fucking rad, and had talking animals and like cool story developments, and I was like, hell yeah, this rules. And then they were like, no, we're gonna leave China, and I was like, nope, I'm out. I'm out. So that was very disappointing. Video game wise, Doom Eternal. So the more I think about it, the more I understand that part of my disappointment is that I am not the audience that the makers of Doom 2016, they weren't looking to court me. They they made that game and I loved it, and then they took feedback from people who are not me or my kind of player, and were like, okay, so we're going to do all this stuff for this portion of the audience wants these things in a sequel, and we're going to make sure they get it. And so some of it is just like, oh, that sucks. It would have been nice if I had been the audience. I would like a alternate universe where the Doom Eternal game they made, um, they made one that was for me, because I liked the first game, and I would have liked to have had a second one that I liked, and that didn't happen. And that's just, yeah, that's definitely the most disappointing video game I played this year. Like, I didn't play a lot of games that were like bad or all right. Like, I didn't love Bug Snacks. I think Bug Snacks like is a really fun idea, but maybe not the full fledged. It didn't need to be the full fledged game they made, which is harsh, but that's just my opinion on it. I still enjoyed a lot of elements of it. It's just not my favorite thing. Um, I wanted to just love it more than I did. But yeah, I would say I was very disappointed with, and very much like had a huge bummer of a time with Doom Eternal. But yeah, if you have video games, movies, music, things that you were just kind of, hey, we're a positive show, but every once in a while we can talk about things we didn't like. Certainly, we can be critical of these things. Bug Snacks sets off my need to complete everything, but the physics puzzle aspect drives me crazy. Yeah, I can feel that. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like if it had been more of a contained story, a more contained, somehow been like lots more gameplay, like just focus on more bugs, snacks, and maybe less story. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm not a game designer. I can only just tell you what I feel from what I played. It's hard to make suggestions of what they could have done differently. I'm not super qualified in that, but I know that I fell off it, and I was unhappy to fall off it. I didn't love Like a Dragon as much as some people certainly love Like a Dragon, but I did very much enjoy Like a Dragon. Um, Yakuza Like a Dragon. I did very much enjoy that game. Um, and I look forward to Like a Dragon too. I think they're creating a cool world, and I think that they will make uh, least broken game I play this fall to winter. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I think like they're Like a Dragon was made by people that love RPGs, not people that make RPGs. And I think that now that they've made an RPG, they can learn from some of the stuff that I didn't love, perhaps, and work on that. But I think that like there were times where I was like, I am I am way underpowered for this fight. I had no idea that I was doing so poorly. Oh shit. Okay. Well, now I'll do this and I'm going to do this other thing instead. Okay. Like there were just too many times where I was like very surprised that I was not where I should be in that game. Yeah, there were some twists and turns that was like, okay, all right, well, okay. But I still really enjoyed it, and I'm still looking forward to the next one. As I said, um, I think there could be a really even better game. And the heart that had heart, it had characters that I really enjoyed, so I certainly liked that. Oh, I didn't even look ahead. I did some panels here, panel lining here, and I'm gonna put a sticker over it. So that's fun. That's fun. I'll put some stickers on this here. Again, why would I not expect there to be a bunch of stickers? It's a high grade. Uh, okay, so put this on like this. 24 on one, 23 on the other. I was underwhelmed by Spelunky 2. It's not a bad game, but for being the new Spelunky, it was a big letdown for me. Yeah, I've heard that quite a bit. Some people just bounced right off of it. I was expecting like Will Smith to just like make that his streaming game for a while, you know. And I was surprised that my friends that play games like that on stream weren't. I mean, obviously everyone's chasing um, uh, multiplayer games and getting a posse together because those are the big things. Whatever, you know, like it's like yeah, you should, folks that do that. But I thought people who just play what they want to play and have attracted an audience that like them for them would have played that more, and that did not happen. Uh, let's see, 23 is this one, okay? Yeah, as soon as you get the battle arena, I ran through that twice and got everybody up to level 50, and I never had a problem again. Yeah, I mean, it's just like there were times where I was more interested in doing side quest stuff, and then I realized that I was like, oh, I need to grind instead of doing other things that are not experience related. Okay, I'll go do that. But I didn't have that issue with um, Zero or Kwami 2, so I was surprised. Uh, okay, so put this on there, done there. This goes like this now. Put these here. There's a lot of stickers on the shield, which is a bummer. But whatever. Put this on there. Um, I didn't watch a lot of TV shows this year. I'm not prestige TV is not necessarily a thing that I kind of go for, so I haven't been up to date on any of that stuff. Um, we can also talk about positives. There's stuff that you're like, I love this thing. This is my jam. Like, please, like I said, Yakuza 7 and Arcade Spirits are probably my favorite games of the year. They are incredible and very enjoyable. I only streamed Arcade Spirits once because, honestly, I kind of just wanted to play it for me. I was really, really liking it, and I was having a lovely time with that series or that game. So I was kind of just like, I'm just gonna kind of do this on my own time because it was really special. Yeah, like a dragon, very much enjoyed. Um, Jackbox 7, I've had a good time with friends. That has been a fun thing to play. We'll be playing that Thursday night from 11 p.m. till midnight. Ringing into the new year, I should say. Ringing in the new year this Thursday. We'll be model kit building from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. and then playing Jackbox games with chat, and that'll be fun. All right, so I am doing no panel lining on this because I'm putting stickers on this thing, so there's no reason to put panels on there to do any kind of marker because I just have to apply stickers, including this big sticker here, which is 22. Yeah. I did the other side of this. After I put the stickers on, maybe I will, but probably not. Arcade Spirits was good. Looking forward to this sequel next year. Yeah, indeed. Very much looking forward to that. And then I will do this here. Yeah, I think that was a really fun game, and I really had a good time with it. Trying to think if there was any other games I really liked. Yeah, as far as anime, I've talked a lot about the shows I really enjoyed this year. Um, I'm going to talk about the last episode of uh, Maesetsu opening act at the end of or the second half of the stream. So I'll talk about that. Talk about and then just trying to wrap up. I finished up some shows, and I'll be talking about those. Jujutsu Kaisen, I'll talk about this week, later in the week. I'm kind of finishing that up. But yeah, I've been trying to get caught up on my stories, the stuff that I waited on. There's a couple shows that like I I watched the first episode of, and I think I talked about this in my anime video. My awards, the show that I'll probably end up watching next year. But I might start it up because there's the lull is Over the Moon for You, Tonikawa, Over the Moon for You, because I was just not in the right mindset for a romantic comedy series. I'm still kind of not, but also everything's we're running out of shows because there is a break. I mean, the break is like a week really, but that's still like if I go to Annie Charts, the first show that is airing in the winter 2001 is, let's see, if I go by next airing episode, yeah, we are 6 days away from the first new show. And I also don't know oh no, okay, yeah, I am going to watch Suppose a Kid from the Last Dungeon boonies moved to a starter town. I am going to watch that because that is a great premise. Basically, it's a kid, the weakest kid in his village, wants to become an adventurer to get stronger, but doesn't realize that he is way stronger than any adventurer that's starting out is because his town is right next to the last dungeon. That's a great premise. So I'll watch that. Uh, uh, and then I want to watch. I'm not going to watch Alice in Deadly School because it's a terrible name and it's a terrible premise of like supernatural thrillers aren't my thing. But I do love the setup, which is that like basically these non-human things are there, and if they die, if they bite you and you die, they're basically like vampire zombies or whatever. You turn into that and you attack people. Uh, and one of the reasons why the main characters are okay when it starts is that they are on the roof because they've been practicing their comedy duo act. And I'm like, I love that. I hope they're funny because, even though it's rough, because they wanted to be a comedy duo. That's just a great reason to be on the roof. That's nonsense that I was like, oh, that's great. But who knows? I liked ABC's reboot of Supermarket Sweeps with Leslie Jost. That was a fun surprise this year. Bobby, I didn't see any of that, but I heard good things. That sounded like a hoot and a half. So yeah. All right. So this is a weird thing. So we gotta put basically instead of putting plastic on here, we're gonna do two stickers. One's gonna overlap, and the other is gonna be solid. So let's do the solid pieces first, and then we'll overlap on top of it. I think that's the way to go. What do you think about Gundam Unicorn? Xander, I don't love it. From a model kit building perspective, the Nor and the Noir, not the Nor. Uh, I forget the name of it. The Banshee and the Unicorn are pains in the butt to put together because they are just so many layered with bright colors underneath and moving components. And then yeah, I don't really like what Unicorn is trying to tell a story, and I think it does an alright job of telling that story. I just am not super into the story it wants to tell. I actually think it does a good job, but doing a good job telling a story I'm not interested in is, it's still not great for me. Um, I know some people very much enjoy it. Yeah, it's just not. Um, it is a Unicorn is trying to talk about trauma and the emotional weight of war. And I get that, but it does it, to me anyway, as a, ooh, look at this. Ooh, it does it in a tantalize, like there's almost a tee-hee to it. Like it's not like, it doesn't feel grave. It doesn't feel like it's giving much depth. Like I don't think that it respects what it's trying to portray. I think it's just like, oh, we're going there. It's not like edgelordy or anything like that. I just think that it's cruel, and I think that it enjoys the fact that it's a cruel show. So again, if it's your Gundam series, it's your Gundam series, and I'm not here to say don't enjoy it, uh, because there are people that are like, I like the SD Gundam shows that are really silly and campy. Some people like build and dive, and like that, that approach to it. Some people are only about the old series. Some folks prefer the side series, like me. When I think of my favorite Gundam series, they are Wing and Iron Blooded Orphans are my 1 and 2, and those are not part of the regular timeline. Uh, I'm not. Everybody's got their different things, and it's a big, wide world of the genre. Oh, I would just. It wasn't the best series. Yeah, I would just love. What if there was a mech series that came out next year that wasn't bad? I would love a mech series that I could be psyched about, that wasn't like so goddamn boring that I literally fell asleep during one of the episodes. And I take notes when I watch shows, talk about on stream, and I was still like, ugh. Like, I don't know what happens in Listeners, because I could not be bothered to finish Listeners. Listeners was terrible. And that sucks, because I wanted to really like that show, but there was no way I could. All right, so there's our shield that is also a weapon, which is fun. So we'll do weapon style here on our kit. But yeah, I mean, I know we're getting. I don't think Gridman, the sequel to Gridman, is next year, but that's coming at some point, and that's got mechs in it. But I mean, it's got a robot man, and then it's got vehicles that transform and go over the robot man. So it's not the same. It's not a mech anime, but it does rule. Let me just see. I think let's see. Looking up on Wikipedia. Okay, yes. It's April of next year. A sequel titled SSS Dynazenon was announced as a continuation of the Gridman set in the same shared Gridman universe. Okay, so we're getting cool. Is it 2021 series sequel to Gridman? It's part of the universe established in 2000 after the yeah. So that's coming. Got a big robot there. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, I would love to be psyched about a mech series. I knew it wasn't going to, but what if? I mean, so pull back a little bit. Technically, there was an anime within an anime this year that was mech related, because there was a whole mech plot line, robot plot line in Isaacin. So there was that. So we did have that, which is nice, but it's not the same thing. It's just not the same thing. There's one sticker I didn't put on yet. Gotta do the weapons. We're almost done with this kit. Just gonna put the weapons together here, and then we will be wrapped up with this kit, and we can work on the next one. We got to build the club, and then we got to build the gun. But yeah, I would love like just a good mech series. I think that would be rad as hell. Does it have to be a space opera? No. Does it have to be a drama? Not really. I'll take a mech comedy. A mecha comedy. That's all right. Hell, I'll take like, I don't know, exosuits. You know, like fine, go for it. But boy, oh boy, I would love, just like a quality mech series in this year. Next year, I should 2021. That would be rad. But I don't think we're going to get that. But yeah, if there's anything else this year that y'all were like, this was my show, this was the thing that I watched a lot of, this was my series, this was my HBO thing that I was like, heck yeah, I can't believe I get to watch this. Like, yeah, let me know. I always like hearing what y'all are into. It's fun for me to know. Trying to think if there was anything else that I was like, this was my shit, and I cannot remember. There's our club. It's fine. There's nothing special about this. It's just a thing. And I got to put a sticker here on our gun. I do like how simplistic this gun is. Oh, and I'll show you how they fit on the kit. But let me put the sticker on, and then we'll move on there. Meadow says, mech comedy, is that a thing? I mean, there are funny shows that involve mechs. Yeah, certainly. It's not the biggest draw, but yeah. Can't wait to watch the next season of Cobra Kai, says Lord Crashton. Hell yeah. Enjoy. I started Ted Lasso, and I highly suggest going into the show as cold as possible. I mean, I have an idea of what it is, but yes, I would agree with you. That is a thing that I would like to do, but have not done. I just got here. Decadence was my favorite thing this year. Oh, yeah. I mean, Decadence is fantastic. I love that it was an original series. I thought it was just done so well. Just watched the first 12 episodes of Iron Blooded Orphans. Yeah. I think that show fucking holds up, and I think it's really solid. You won't see this kit in Iron Blooded Orphans because this is from the mobile game, but it is, related. But yeah, it is the mobile game thing, which is just weird. Ooh, this is popping out. Twist that back. It was a good year to be a Star Trek fan between Picard, Lower Decks, and Discovery. Season 3. Yes, indeed. Lower Decks was fun. I really enjoyed Lower Decks. I thought that was a very good time. Happy to have been able to check that out. Decadence, yeah. Decadence was lovely. I feel like I was somewhat sold a bill of goods on that series because I would have preferred if it had been a little bit more about Natsume. And it is her story, but it also really is in her story. And so I would have liked a little bit more about her. But I still thought that it overall was pretty great. Okay, so you can put these weapons, have them hold, do whatever, or you can place them here in the gun. How does the gun go? Oh, the gun goes as well, which is a good use of the side skirt, just being a weapon holder. Gun doesn't really fit super well, so I'm not even going to worry about that. But yeah, I like that. Yes. Yeah, I thought Decadence was just overall really cool. Could that Decadence have transformed into a giant mech? It could have. It didn't. It did transform, but it could have turned into a big mech, and that would have been pretty rad. But yeah, I thought that show just had incredibly strong character work. Just like great, like new characters would get introduced, and I would just be like, hey, more about this character. What the fuck? Special shout out to Jill. Jill, I don't do Best Girl Awards, but Jill's up there. Jill is fucking rules. And besides, Best Girl is Ono from Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater. The strong, tall, silent type that is just trying to help people out, and it's just so embarrassed and lovely. Oh, Ono is the best. All right, so we are done with this kit. I'm going to take a photo of it for posterity, and so I can post it at the end. And we'll move on to our next kit and kind of get a feel for how this is going to work. And then, of course, we'll take a pause for the calls in a bit, and then I'll talk about the show, one of the last shows. I'm not going to give people shit for giving their end of the season reviews, but technically the season isn't over because there's still one more episode left of Noblesse on Wednesday, and that ends the season basically. I don't think any other show that are not ongoing. Like, there are a couple that are double length, like King's Raid, and With a Dog and a Cat Every Day is Fun are like double length. And maybe Jujutsu Kaisen is double length, or it's ongoing and they're taking a break. I can't remember. But like, Noblesse kind of ends the season on Wednesday. So, all right, let's just do this. You know what? I'm going to say this, folks. For my first attempt at doing panel lining, I'm hooked. It just really is sharp. Oh, Slowbird wants me to hit that gong, that finished up a model kit gong, so I'll hit that. Thank you, Slowbird. Also, hi, Slowbird. All right, there we go. Appreciate that. And yes, this kit was cool. I do think the thrusters on the back is so odd. Ooh, thank you for that. I'm going to hit the applause. Thank you very much, Bane, for that 100 bits. Bits and coins, always appreciated. But yeah, let's look at our next kit. We'll take a pause for the calls, and I'll do my ad reads or whatever. Yeah, panel lining really does make a big difference for not a huge investment of time or money. Totally. These were not expensive, and this adds some time, but it doesn't add like a lot of time to the kit, to the assembly, I should say. Especially, I'll get quicker, probably. All right, so we got stickers here. Oh, yeah, we got to do the Quanta from Double O. I would say my favorite Double O kit. I don't know. I just think it's sleek and neat. I think this is a neat kit. This is the high grade. Thank you, Lashbrook, for picking this up off my wish list when you bought these markers for me. Also, getting me a kit that would work well with it, because we do have the white. We've got the blue. We'll use the brown for that, I think. Yeah. No. For blue, we'll use black. And then the white we'll use gray, and then the red we'll use brown. So yeah, we get to use all three colors as we accent this. There's not a lot of red in this kit, but there's enough to kind of spruce it. Any kit suggestions? So if you are like, I want to build a model kit and I don't know where to start, if you want to build a Gundam and you don't know where to start, the entry grade RX-782, the original Gundam. Entry grade's a brand new thing. It's simple, it's easy, but it'll give you a lot of confidence. You don't need markers for it. There's no stickers in that kit. You don't need tools to build that. You could just pop them right out. It's designed for that. It will give you so much confidence being like, I can make a model kit. I really like the high grades that have been coming out the last couple of years in the lines for Gundam Build Divers, and because they're just odd, weird kits, but they're still really simple to assemble, and I think they turn out great. Oh, I want to find out what year this kit is. This is a 2010 kit, so a little older than the high grades that I usually build here. So yeah, you're not going to see any English in this. This is not before they started changing up their instruction booklets. So like all of this here would be all the text here would be in English, and that is not. So now you're like, okay, all right, kind of have to figure out what do you want me to do here, which is fine. Although you do get really nice photos here, some really nice photos. The thing I always say is build something if you like Gundams. Haven't seen it in English in mine either. Yeah, if you like Gundams, you build the thing. If you like a show, you build the thing from the show, right? Iron Blooded Orphans, the non-graded series, and then the second series they named them Full Mechanics. Those are 1/100 scale. They're kind of high grady and kind of master grady. They're in between. Those kits are fun. You have to get used to the fact that you can see it here in this kit as well. This chest is really narrow, and it's got this kind of, because it's a demon. It's got the chest is like concave a little bit and like leaning forward, which is very unique to Iron-Blooded Orphans. Once you get used to that, building the chest assembly, you'll be fine. Also, a cool thing about the Iron-Blooded Orphans Full Mechanics line is you build the whole skeleton first and then put armor on around it. And that's just very unique and cool. Like, the only thing is, like, the head has armor on it. You put the head together fully, and then the feet. But then everything else is just a skeleton structure, and then you put armor all around it. It's very cool looking. It's very sharp. I've always been a big fan of that style. It took a little to get used to, but once you get used to putting together the chest to make sure the arms lock in right on the shoulders, it's a fantastic look to it. I think all those kits are fantastic. Totally recommend it. Hello, we got some new folks here joining us in chat. Welcome, welcome. This is a brand new kit, new build, I should say. We just finished up one kit. We're starting a new one. This was from the year 2010, so like I said, it's not as user-friendly as some of the other high grades that I've been building on streams here, but I know this is a solid kit. This is the Quanta. I don't think this kit... Yeah, this kit does not have the GN drive. The fully assembled GN drive, which is fine by me. It doesn't have the removable, doesn't have a hole in its chest, and you have to then remove things or slide things in. I think that's fine that it doesn't have that. All right, that's 16. It's going to go here. Yeah, it just kind of has the front piece, and I think that's fine for a high grade not to have any of that. Oh, a Full Mechanics Barbatos. Nice. Yeah, I think the Full Mechanics is just like a very cool line, and so I would always recommend it to people. Let's see what I was gonna say. Yeah, I haven't built a kit from I think 2012 was the last time, or a kit from 2012 was the oldest kit I've built in a while in the high grade of this era. I built a kit from 2001 a couple weeks ago, so it's not like I don't build kits that have some age to them, but it has been a hot minute since I did a kit like this, for good and bad. That's what we want to do. Great. Putting the chest together. All right, we'll get the connector pieces going here. I do have some master grades coming tomorrow. We built this because it was bought off my Amazon wish list by Lashbrook. But I have a good backlog. I used my gift cards that I got for Christmas to purchase some very cool master grades. Stuff that I've been wanting to build for a while. I'm looking forward to doing that, including one that's, I think, like a year old. That I'm very excited to put together. I think we'll have a good time with it. Very happy to have the ability to do that. Thanks to some gift cards. They're expensive kits, but they're gonna, I think, be great. All right, so you want this forward here and snap in place. All right. As always, the nice thing is we can fix a mistake if something comes up and we're like, I didn't do this right. We can always hopefully figure out what we did wrong. How can you tell the gear? So, the kit is going to tell you on the box, but also on the front page of the manual, right here, it says 2010, right on the manual, but it also, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, 2010, right there. But also, we'll say it on the box in the same kind of corner. The bottom left corner will tell you the year that it was produced. Now, You also can look up information about it because sometimes it'll say a year, but that's actually the re-release. Like, um, I built the 2010 re-release a while ago of a Gundam Wing kit, and it was a re-release, and it was like a little up modernized, but not really. It was really the 90s kit. Um, but if you're building a high grade like this, like from Gundam 00, that's not a kit from the mid 2000s. That's just when it was made. Um, with the very least, you know when the re-release came out, if anything. Uh, and also, if there's not, you can tell kind of by the year. If on the sheet it does not say the name of the kit in English, that is a good indication of what year it was made, because that started happening around 2014, 2015, I believe. All right, we're going to take a pause to the cause in a moment. Let me get this on. Not doing a lot of layers here. This is just like a big piece. You throw this big piece on. And you're like, okay, I did it. Now what's next? Great. Um, this is a high grade, so it does not have the things that the master grade's going to have, which are it will have plenty of clear little pieces here with stickers behind it, but it's not going to have those weird plastic pieces that like the holographic pieces that are annoying to put together. And I'm glad that this kit doesn't have that because, as I said, those are annoying. Uh, Also, our stickers here are not numbered; they are symbols based. They are not Roman numerals, or sorry, not Roman, but they are not the 1 through 9. They are symbol based, which is fine. It's just you get used to it. Uh, just finished the 2014 Gundam 0W. Now, some trees have the year on them, which becomes fun with build diver kits, where half the trees are from an old kit and half are from a new kit. Yes, I'm not technically building anything, but I got an M2 drive and I'm doing a clean reinstall of Windows, re-downloading all my programs. Hell yeah! Sometimes you gotta do a clean install, or that some high grades use 10 plus old polycap trees. Yes, that is a fun thing to see the year. Um, so this kit came in 2010. This tree right here is from the year 2008. So there are probably going to be caps on here that we don't use. But also that means that from the year 2008 to 2010, Bandai was putting out, at least 2010, Bandai was putting out 00 kits. So they had this, even though this kit didn't come out to 2010, it was in mind for a couple of years, or they built it with this poly in mind, where it's like, okay, these are the connectors we could have for a kit like this. Um, but yeah, there are quite a few stickers here, but they are this dark green color that will then put white or clear plastic over, which will look kind of neat. I needed to rebuild because I was dumb and install the motherboard utilities. Oh no, you don't want to do that. Yeah, I mean you can, but you know, always want to do something like that. All right. Okay, so these go back there. We got to put a sticker on and then put some. We'll do one of these so I can show you what it looks like. And then, of course, we're going to keep going. It's just that I have to take a pause for the cause and talk about ways you can support the channel, because that is a component of what I do here is, you know, my quote-unquote ad reads. Uh, I don't run ads during the stream for Twitch. I do run an ad break at the beginning of the stream, in order to make it so that folks that are coming in for the first like 20 minutes don't have to see a pre-roll ad. But I don't run any ads during the stream. All right, so okay, put the sticker on here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can see this is a kind of dark green that's going to go on the chest here. And then the clear piece will go over it, which will simulate basically a lot of different pieces of plastic, or having a colored clear piece. Like that. Yeah. Um, and then there will be obviously a bunch more that get done. In person, this looks really striking. On It's kind of hard to see, but it does look really striking in person. Not super striking, but like good enough. When it gets white armor around it, when I start putting the white around it, I think it will really perk up. So that's coming. Uh, Asus has its auto OC. Um, the worst software ever that makes my PC go to sleep. It was overriding Windows power settings and not respecting its own settings, and many more dumb little headaches. Yeah, Mr. Bob, that sounds bad. That sounds like a bad time that you don't need in your life. Um, but what I need in my life is to take a short time here to say hello. We got a bunch of people watching right now. I'm going to do my ad reads, just talk about ways you can support the channel. It'll be short. It'll be a couple minutes because I got to go through some stuff. So I hope you stick around. We'll get back to the building. I'm going to talk about some anime stuff I watched since the last stream on Saturday. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave leg of the Scythe emote in the chat. If you're tier 2, you get the Scythe emote. Let the people know. That's a great way to support what I do. All the things I'm going to be talking about here are optional. I'm not saying you gotta. Hey, you gotta become a subscriber. You gotta join my Discord. No, you can just do that stuff if you want to. But being a subscriber using Cash Money or using your Amazon Prime token, because you have Amazon Prime linked to Twitch, you get the Twitch Prime gaming thing, you use it on me. That's just like Cash Money. Oh, hey, Q-Cubed. That is a way to support what I do here, and I would appreciate it very much. You're under no obligation to do so. Gifting subs is a great way to support what I do. Dirty gifted some subs this month, and Sin and Silver. Thank you all very much for doing that. No, I don't think any of you are here right now, but thank you. Bits and coins. We had some bits tonight. But Jam and Robot Crank and Bobby have already donated bits this month. We, like I said, we had some bits from Bane, which was very nice. I appreciate that very, very much. Yeah, that's another way to support what I do. But yeah, Cash Money using that token. If you don't use a token for me, use it for somebody else. Make sure you're using that thing if you've got it linked. I wouldn't say get it today. I would say wait until the 1st, but you could join my Patreon. Joining my Patreon is a great way to support what I do if you want to do like $1 or $3 instead of the 5 or 10 or 5 or 10. But if it's $5 a month here is too much, you could do that. That is a way to support what I do. I'm going to drink a little water. Pardon me. All right. But yeah, that's a way to support what I do is through my Patreon. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, what's up, YouTube? I'm gonna cough. Sorry. If you're watching this later on YouTube, hey, you can see all the links that I'm talking about right now. They're in the show description of this video. One-time donations. So everything I make through Patreon and Twitch and one-time donations goes to me buying model kits. Because once I'm done with a kit, I'm done with the kit. I gotta buy more kits, and I can keep streaming. This is a problem that I created for myself. You can help out. Like I said, I've got a coffee and a Streamlabs and a PayPal. If you felt like giving me a tip, those are the tip jars, and I appreciate it. None of that is necessary. Now, the kit I'm working on right now, this kit right here, the Quanta, that was bought off my Amazon wish list. And if you ever thought, oh, Pat, you have a bunch of cool stuff that you can work on. What if you did the thing that I want you to work on? Well, you could buy something from my Amazon wish list, and then I would build it on stream. I've got very inexpensive kits. I've got very expensive kits. They run the gauntlet of different cool things. Lego sets, high grades, master grades, kits that are dropping in price, which is good. Ooh, the Aegis Knight dropped in price. I might have to pick that up. But that dropped in price. That's $26 right now, which is a reasonable price for a high grade. Well, that's good. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff there. Take a look at the list. If you see something you'd like to see me build, You could purchase it, and I would be happy to buy it and then to build it, I should say, after you bought it. It jumps the queue. You just you jump directly to me building it, and then I say, "Oh, sorry, Kyrios Gundam, I can't build you right now. I got to build this other thing." The alternative to Amazon, if that's your deal, is you're like, "Hey, I would love to not buy you something on Amazon." You can buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store. You go to USA Gundam Store, you get a gift card. They send you an email with the code. You then DM me on Twitter or whisper me here on Twitch with the code, and I take it and I go and I buy something. And I promise to not pre-order something using USA Gundam Store because I did that in June and I still have not gotten my kit. It was supposed to arrive in October and it's just been postponed and postponed. It's not that they don't have it, or sorry, it's not that they've chosen not to ship it. It's that they don't have it. It didn't come from Japan yet. Someday it will, and I'll build Ultimate Gohan, and that'll be cool. A free thing you can do, we're going to get back to building soon, so just be patient, please, is you can join my Discord if that was something you wanted to do for free. Just join my Discord. I post photos after every stream. People post stuff they're working on. I put some video links in there you can check out. Speaking of video links, I talked about this Wednesday. I'm going to be doing Pet Bear's Anime Club, talking about this season and wrapping up my thoughts and then doing a preview of next season. My last Pet Bear's Anime Club is my award show, where I gave out awards like Best and Worst of 2020, and show made exclusively for me, and show that should have ended last season, stuff like that. So you can check that video out. I would appreciate it if you would. And if you want to make a comment in that video of your favorite show or your least favorite show, you can certainly do that. Or do your own categories, like my categories, and give your own responses. You could do that. Baering the List is the video series that I have been making. This coming Wednesday is the last one, and I will be starting a brand new series in January called Bear With Me. Well, Baering the List, I ranked some Lego sets I built this year, so you can check that out. And then this coming Wednesday will be a new video for that. And then I will finish up that series. So I have to start prepping my next series. I am prepping it, but I'll have to get ready for it. And let's see. That is all the stuff I want to share with you. I just have to get this ready. I'm going to get back to building, and we'll talk about some anime for the past couple of days. I wrapped up a couple shows that I've been watching off and on, but not, weekly. But we're going to start with the last episode of Maesetsu opening act. If you have not been following along on this show, we'll go to the back here. Continue working on our Quanta. If you haven't been watching Maesetsu opening act, it is a story about young ladies who are two who are in college, two who have graduated from high school and have just gotten jobs. All four of them are interested in pursuing the wonderful world of stand-up comedy, doing manzai, which is duo comedy. It's like it is a proud Japanese tradition, and this is a show. It is funny, but it is mostly a slice of life that happens to be kind of funny about comedians, and it is cool as hell, and I really, really love it. I had such a good time with this show. And yeah, we had our last episode yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to do my first panel lining of this kit. I'm going to hit some of these lines here. With yellow, I'm going to use the brown marker with this yellow. And we'll just hit some lines here. There. And just hit some of these lines. Just go around, and then we'll go in and clean up the stuff that we got to clean up. So the whole thing of this was we had the New Kings of Comedy competition. New Comedy Kings, I should say, not Kings of Comedy. New Comedy Kings competition was the thing that these girls were practicing for. But then at the end of the last episode, we found out that Rin and Nayata were going to drop out. They could not continue around in the prelims, the second round of the prelims, and we didn't know why. Well, that's because Rin fucking lost her voice. She lost her voice and cannot compete, which is a real shame. Um, and so there's some conversation about that. There's a beautiful heart-to-heart for our deco that has a lot of sadness to it, but also some humor. And part of that is because Rin is writing stuff on an iPad because she can't talk, but she's prepared some stuff, which is cute. Uh, and yeah, they're gonna just bow out and they're gonna keep going. And then Mafuyu and Fubuki are like, shouldn't we drop out because the four of us have kind of been in this together? And they're like, no, you have to do it. And they feel really bad and weird about doing that. But Rin and I had encouraged them to compete for them as well, which is really nice. And again, Rin uses her iPad to convey that information, which is a fun little bit of business. Okay, so in the audience for this second round of the prelims to see who's going to move on to the finals or the semifinal round, it's going to be four groups, and we know one of those groups is Ardeko, or not Ardeko, sorry, Tonasu, and the other group is Freak, who are the older employees of the restaurant that they all work at, who are kind of like their comedy senpais, which is they've given them a lot of good advice and some weird advice, and they've also been a little bit of, it's weird to say this, but a little bit of comic relief on the show. I will just do a little panel lining here. We don't have to do much on this thing here. Hit that a little bit. So there. In the audience, we see Money Honey, who are the young group. They're still in high school. They just started. They didn't make it to this round, but they're in the audience. They brought some friends with them, which is really nice. Also, the teacher from the middle school, who is where'd that? There it is. From the middle school, from the first episode, is there, which rules. It's so nice that she came. That's just awesome. It's cute. The group Spike stops by to give some advice because they recognize the name of the girls competing. So they give some advice, which is really nice. And also, we get to see Freak act like juniors instead of senpai, which is kind of fun. They'll act like kohai and are like still kind of nervous, which was just like, yeah, it was just a cute little bit of business. Let's see. Ooh, C10. So for blue, we're going to put black on here. So we'll put some black on this. Let's see. JK Cool warms up the crowd. I don't, and that's fine. We see snippets of Freak's set. They seem to do well. And then Mafuyu is having a full. Mafuyu has a full-on panic attack backstage because there's like a lot riding on this. But there's some good friendship moments and some support from everyone, which is very sweet and very nice. This show is silly, but definitely has some heart, and I've really enjoyed that. Okay, so Tokonatsu performs, and there's while they're performing and we're hearing their words, we see a montage of some of the cool moments from the show. Like the characters interacting together, the highs and lows of what happened. It's genuinely like a sweet little montage. All right, I'm just hitting some stuff here with the marker, and then I will go in and clean it up with the eraser. But yeah, it's nice, and then the set seems to go well. They get some laughs, and we cut to the four of them sitting in the cafe, talking about the upcoming finals, which Tonasu did not advance to. We don't find out if Freak did. We don't hear. We assume they didn't because they're not talking about going to support. So we assume they also didn't move on. But yeah, they didn't move out from the round. I mean, they're new. This is their first big competition, which makes sense. The girls, both sets of girls have decided to focus on signing with an agency so they can get more gigs and get more experience because they still feel like they need to just be in front of audiences. Uh, and then uh, two dudes show up, a comedy duo act that I recognized, which is always weird in this anime when I'm like, I know who that is. Uh, it's the duo Non-Style. Now, I always want to clarify with this. Non-Style are a comedy duo are real. They are real people, and they are represented by the agency and group that co-produced this anime. So it wasn't a big shock that they're in it, but that they make an appearance as themselves and are, like they are definitely the biggest names that have been associated with this show. Like it is a weird deal. Like there were write-ups in comedy, like Japanese comedy blogs about this. Like people knew they were going to be in the show, and like one of them kind of was briefly in an episode, but you didn't see his face, you just heard his voice. And so some comedy nerds I know that really pay attention to Japanese stand-up were like, whoa, that's weird. And it is. It's fucking weird. So one of them saw the girls at the hot springs. He randomly saw them there, and like I said, we heard his voice before, but we didn't see him. And then the other happened to catch them at the New Kings because they had a show that in the same building, and so they like the girls. I think they're young, but they're up and coming, and they've got potential. And so non-style is like, hey, why don't you open for us? We're doing a local show. Would you be interested in being the Maesetsu, the opening act? And the girls are like, yes. Yes, we will do that. And then the opening theme plays as a closing theme, and that's the show. It is great to support original animation that is not based on anything, with the caveat that there is a manga that got started getting produced this summer, but it's based on what they were going to do with the anime. It's not that they made the manga first and then made the anime. It just happened to coincide. It's a show made for me, folks. I don't know what to tell you. It's a slice of life about stand-up comedy and pursuing your dreams in comedy. And it's just made for me. If one of them loved making model kits, it would be a show, like, there would be no question. But it's already, like, so many of my interests and loves in a thing, and I was just so happy to watch it. Do I wish that it had been more focused on the four girls? Yes. I never cared when J.K. Cool was doing stuff. I just never cared about those characters. And while I came to appreciate Money Honey, I think that a show for them or a spin-off for them would have been better than cutting away from what was going on in the action to then see what they were up to. That didn't appeal to me at all. All right, so let's see. There's a little. But overall, I thought it was a charming show, and I really enjoyed it. And I recommend it if you like the subgenre, the slice of life of girls who are really into a specific thing and give it all their heart and love. If that's kind of subgenre of anime that you're into, Maesetsu opening act is really fun. Just be aware that the first episode does not do them any favors, because the first episode starts with them doing like an air band, like air guitar, but like as a whole band, which they never do again. And they kind of explain why it happened, but it is a very strange thing that happens in the show. So outside of that, Maesetsu opening act on Funimation, I really loved it. And now, for a show that I didn't love, but I will talk about, the second season at The Irregular at Magic High School. So, this season, the first season originally was on Crunchyroll. Funimation then got it pretty recently because they got the rights to the second season. the streaming rights. So then they have the first season available, so you can go back and watch it. Um, so if you like sci-fi and magic, and you like a overpowered main character, I think this show has a lot to offer, and you could find some stuff to really enjoy it. Um, there are so many caveats when it comes to this show, uh, especially this season. Um, a thing that bummed me out was there was a transfer student, and that meant there was a transfer student the other way. So Shizuku, who I like, who is that kind of like uh, it's not tsundere, but kundere. She's like doesn't or yeah, she doesn't talk much. She's like really quiet and kind of not emotional. She's just a cool little chill, fun character that I was bummed was in America for most of the show. She got involved somewhat, but wasn't as involved as I would have liked. So that was a bummer. Um, Tatsuya, who is one of the most overpowered main characters I've ever seen in an anime. Like, there are I think, let's see, I would say the most overpowered main character in a show that I've ever, like, unbeatable, can't be defeated, you can't do anything to him, is Rimuru, the slime from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. And then Tatsuya is, like, pretty much right below it. Like, he is just unstoppable and unflappable. He's actually pushed to his limit at one point in this thing, and also doesn't super succeed, where he certainly succeeds in the first season. So they add some stuff that he can't handle. He gets outplayed, which is interesting. So that's the good stuff. The bad stuff is, or that could have been good, and the missed potential stuff for this season is the addition of Lena. Lena is an American soldier, transfer student. She is, strong, certainly, and interesting. They make her goofy, like she was raised as a soldier, so she's undercover, but doesn't know how to be undercover, and blend in, like she just can't. And the fact that she's like an American character who like claims to really like Japanese stuff and be into Japan, but is into Japan the way like otakus are into Japan. So she's like, they go to like the shrine, and she's wearing like this incredibly gaudy nonsense outfit because, like, yeah, she's really into Japan because she's like watched an anime or several anime. It's that kind of thing. I'm like, that's kind of fun. That's a fun character trait to have in the show. But for the most part, she is underutilized greatly in the show and kind of a bummer. And also, I can't believe that I've been talking about the Irregular Magic School this long, and I haven't talked about how fucking creepy and weird parts of it is. Holy shit, parts of this show are creepy and weird. And Lena is in a love triangle where she definitely is having some kind of affection for Tatsuya, and he has some sort of affection for her, or at least understanding. Like, he kind of understands where she's coming from. So he definitely, like, feels for her. But it's a love triangle with the sister. Hooray! And is it as creepy as it is in season 1? No. I mean, there's a moment that is real weird and bad, but it's not as bad as it... I guess it's not as bad as season 1, and I don't know. Alright, that doesn't seem like the right piece. No. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get these chess pieces on here, and I'm having some issue as I rant about the pseudo... Like, I understand that Tatsuya, in order to protect his sister, at the request of his mother, got a surgery. And, like, it makes him kind of not have access to his emotions. And she feels, very much indebted to him as her family, because we don't know much about... we know their aunt is evil and probably had their mother murdered, and also their father, and that he gave up. Tatsuya gave up something to in order to protect her. So we know that. But it's creepy. It's a creepo thing. It's real creepy and weird. And like, there are characters that comment on it, but that doesn't make it okay. And the fact that Miyuki considers Lena her rival is just weird and not okay and a bad thing. It's a bad thing. It's just a bad thing that's happening. Like, I don't know what else to say. I hate this part of the show, and I wish that it didn't exist. But what are you gonna do? There's a vampire. There's like magic parasites, vampire kind of thing that's happening, and it's fine. And there's some characters I really like that get some character growth and have some fun. There's a girl that clearly is in love with Tatsuya who does not does not stand a chance, cannot compete with any of the other characters, and that's a bummer. Oh, also, hey, they doubled down because they introduced another set of brother-sister duo that are also in the families, and they're also weird with each other. They also have a creepy relationship that is not cool, and I don't know what it's doing in the show. And I was like, don't introduce more of these characters. What the fuck? So anyway, Irregular at Magic School. Like, I would recommend that you type in Irregular at Magic School Season 2 into YouTube and watch compilations of the fights, because the fight scenes are pretty cool. And as I said, Tatsuya is an overpowered main character and gets into some wild shit. And there's a good Lena and Miyuki fight that's like definitely solid and well done. But holy shit, it's just a weird thing in that show. It's just a weird thing in that show, y'all. And rounding out for tonight anyway, I have more shows to cover. Like I said, I gotta finish up Jujutsu Kaisen and talk about that. But I also want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about Adachi and Shimamura, which is a Funimation show that is such a slow burn that I stopped watching it week to week because I just wanted to marathon it. I have mixed feelings on it. I think that it is worth the watch. Specifically, it is worth the watch if you are starved for romance anime, and specifically queer romance anime. If you are just dying for romance queer anime, and you're like, Pat, I just wish there was more romance queer anime in my life. I hate that there isn't. What can I do? Well, you can watch this show. It's on Funimation. I would also call it more than like one. It is not queer baiting. This is not a two girls that are around each other, and you're like, man, come on, fuck you. Like this is not. It's not a tease. These are two characters that are very much invested in one another. One who is super romantically invested, the other who is possibly. And there are other queer characters in the show as well. So you do get queer representation in Adachi and Shimamura. But it is, like I said, it is about the journey to them becoming friends. It's a lot about people that feel like, oh, I have friends, but they're not like best friends, or people who are like, I've never had a friend before. And in many ways, this is codependency, the anime. So there's a lot of like, oh, I need you to get better about I need you to get better at liking yourself before you start putting all of your energy into getting somebody else to accept you and like you. Because, like, this is rough, my friend. This is a rough thing that's happening right now. But it is really well told. It is, like I said, it is a slow burn. Also, yeah, there's a character named Yashiro, a young girl named Yashiro, and like I don't know what the fuck her deal is, man. That's a weird character. How do I explain her? She's wearing a child space suit for the entire series, like a covered her face wearing a thing. It's got a heart on it. She claims to be an alien, and she's wearing a spacesuit. Uh, and I don't know why. A lot of her life parallels the other things that are happening with Adachi, and I don't know why that's happening. Uh, and I don't. It's a fucking weird thing to be in this show. It's a weird element of it. She really stands out, and she adds an element of like surrealness to the proceedings that are welcome because the show is it's pretty damn grounded, with the exception of like you expect some characters to get in trouble more than they do. Other than that, it's pretty damn grounded in its look at relationships and, like I said, codependency and depression and jealousy and budding romance, an interest in pursuing things and making things have an actual relationship. Uh, it's a lovely series. I recommend it. As I said, now you can marathon it because it is a very slow burn, but you could get invested into it and check it out. Um, I would highly recommend it. If you are looking for a series, yeah, you're looking for some romance and particularly some drama and yeah, rooting for everybody. For some reason, uh, my phone thought that I was talking to it, and I was not. All right, and yeah, those are the shows that I've been catching up on. Right now, it is catch-up period. As I said, we've got like 6 days, or 7 days until the new anime arrives. Um, so really, like a week until we start seeing new shows. And then this week is always the fun thing of like, there's no new One Piece this week. Not that I'm watching it right now, but like, I don't know if there's a new Black Clover tomorrow. Uh, I believe that Anime Capybara-san is a 24 episode series, so there will be episode 13 this Thursday. But also, that's a 2-minute anime. So, uh, so for this week, like, watch Black Clover. I'm going to watch the last episode of Noblesse. I plan on this by the end of this weekend. I will be caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen, so I'll be able to talk about that. Um, I don't know what else. Like, I don't know what other shows. Oh, I know that Higurashi When They Cry is an ongoing, or at least a double length. But I'm not watching that series, so I can't like super comment on it. Because that is not an anime for me. If that's your anime, if that's your kind of shit, if you like that psychological thriller shit, go for it. Do I appreciate what they were doing with the fact that they uh, uh, said that it was going to be a remake and that it's not a remake, it's a sequel? Uh, yes, that fucking kicks ass. I think that's fucking awesome. But that's still not a thing that I'm like into. All right, so now the worst part of a high grade, the head. We have to build the head because, and why is that a pain in the ass, Pat? Well, because the pieces are tiny. They are just tiny pieces that you kind of have to just hope that you don't lose any of them, and you can get them all together, and you can separate them from the spruce nice and easy. You don't have to do much snipping. All right, so got our face. I'm probably not going to do much of any panel lining on the face of this, or the tiny bits of this. I will probably do some panel lining on the head here. Once it's all together. Once the head's assembled, I'll look at it, like the sides of the head, and see if I'm going to do any panel lining. But these are very tiny, and we are getting towards the end of the stream for this evening. And as we start getting into the end of a stream is when I start making or the chance for me making mistakes comes in. But yeah, if there's a show this season you think I should catch up on, Tonikawa I might start this weekend. and I am debating either this week leading up to Thursday or leading up to Saturday. Maybe I will watch the rest of I'm Standing on a Million Lives. I kind of want to see where it ends up if the first season finishes gets to the vision of the future that they were dealing with, or it feels like they're not done with the quests by the end of the first season. But I'll be interested to see if they finish this quest and then add a new character, like if they make it in time, like what comes of that. I'm I'm more interested to find out than I am. I'm. How do I say this? I want to know, but I don't think I want to read a wiki to know. I think I want to watch the show to know. If that makes sense. I kind of want to see where this thing goes, and that might mean that probably entails watching it. But I don't know. I also might get back into it and then just go, nah, actually no. So I don't know. But yeah, if there's anything that I missed this season, you're like, oh Pat, you didn't watch my favorite show this season, uh, Gymnast Samurai, or Wingrit something or other, or uh, that anime about the guy and the girl it's basically Romeo and Juliet but with wizards. And you're like, Pat, how could you not watch that show whose name I can't remember, but is an anime that exists, and I didn't watch it. Yeah, feel free to let me know if there's anything, or if you were watching some stuff. We got a little time left in the stream, but yeah, this is a great time to get in the chat and let me know what you're up to, what you're watching. A reminder: my next stream is on Wednesday, the bonus stream, where I will be talking lots of anime. I'll be doing my roundup for this season and my preview of next season. Okay. I thought this season was busy. Oh boy, next season. We got sequels. We got continuations. We've got uh, long-awaited follow-ups. Literally, I'm probably going to have to not watch everything and postpone at least one series that I am excited about because it's just going to be a lot of shows. Now, it could work out that they are spread out enough between the different days, because often, like, the isekais I like end up being easier for me to watch because they're just on days that aren't as popular, like they're Sunday or Monday shows. So theoretically, I can end up catching them. But also, sometimes that just doesn't happen. Like this year, or this season, I should say, not this year, this season, a lot of the stuff I wanted to watch happened all on Fridays and Saturdays. And that was a lot of anime to watch in those 2 days. And then Sunday and Monday, there were 3 things I watched, which is definitely a different number. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I end up watching. Also, I might end up doing that thing where I just hit random on Crunchyroll, which is usually what I do when I have nothing to catch up on and I'm not watching anything because there's nothing new. I just hit the random button a couple times on Crunchyroll until I find something I've never heard of and watch like an episode or two to give you my impressions. Do you see the trailer that came out of a bit ago, the first CG Studio Ghibli movie? I did not see that, no. Movies are generally not on my radar. I mean, Ghibli certainly should be, but I did not see that. But that's certainly interesting. I would definitely be interested in seeing what that ends up becoming, or what that is. But I'll check that out, Lord Christensen. I did not see it. Oh yeah, there's some good stuff coming out in the next season. Next season, I mean, some of that stuff was supposed to be out. It looks weird, I'm sure. I mean, this season was supposed to have some stuff that got pushed back, so it'll be interesting to see what gets, and then there's a bunch of stuff in April. April's also going to be really strong. We haven't seen everything get announced about where it's going. We'll start seeing that in a week. And then also, there's always going to be something that just doesn't get picked up by anybody. Uh, Often those are the shorts, the little short series, but sometimes those sound really cool, and then we don't get to watch them, and I'm sad about that. Saddened by that, I should say. But you know what happens. All right, so just gotta go like this. This sticker does not want to sit, folks. This sticker, these eye stickers, this eye sticker here does not want to sit on these eyes. It's very frustrating. All right, let's get a little of this connected. Oh, wait, there's more. Goddamn, more stickers. Okay, I'm going to get the heads connected here, and then we'll probably call the stream quits. Now, if you're like, Pat, what's happening? Where we go? Where are we going? What's going on? Don't worry about it. We're just going to go raid somebody because we'll find somebody hopefully on the West Coast that's doing something cool. We'll go check in with them. At 11:30 Eastern time, which is 8:30 at his time, I am going to go watch Beej over on Loading Ready Run. Do a bonus stream. He's going to be talking about his anime wrap up, and I always enjoy those, so I'll go check that out. And you can certainly come to that. But we'll go raid somebody who's streaming something, so you can go continue to enjoy cool shit. All right. Ooh, this looks like I might have gotten this right. Let's see if I can get this connected the way it's supposed to go. Yeah. High grade heads are still give me trouble. You'd think that I would be pretty okay at doing this at this point, but you would be wrong. I still run into some trouble with high grade heads. All right, we got that on. I'll put the two side stickers on. These are not the heart stickers. Vetting 39 and for this one is symbols, not names, which is again numbers, which is fine, but a little difficult. Oops. Back of the head sticker came off. And I won't do any detailing on the head yet. I'm going to try to finish the head and then look at it and see if I want to do anything. But also, towards the end of the streams is when I get, the chance to get sloppy. So I don't think I want to do marker right now on this head. We'll just wait until I get the rest of it put together and then look at it and see what it needs. Is that the right symbol? That is not the right symbol. Wrong sticker. It's this symbol. Yep, see? I almost put the wrong sticker on. I took the sticker off the sheet and went, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look like it fits in this headpiece here. Of course, neither does this. See, I'm like messing up. Line there. Yep, this is the wrong one too. Damn. I took two of the wrong stickers off. Wow. There it is. Third time's the charm, I guess. It's just like taking these stickers off and then I'm looking and going, this seems wrong. That's weird. Because I was doing the wrong stickers. All right, that looks right. Yeah, and then I got to put plastic on over there and all this other stuff. But yeah, I might even do some panel lining off stream on this head. I mean, really all I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit with the gray marker like around here, around parts of the head, just to kind of make it pop a little bit. But I still have more pieces to put on. Involved head that needs to go on this kit. All right. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to go find a stream for us to go raid. As I said, my next stream is on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It is my anime roundup, so I hope you can come check that out. You're more than welcome to do that. My next build stream, where we continue this kit, will be on Thursday, so feel free to come to that. Let's see. I'll pause this. Turn the volume up there. All right, let's see who we got going here. Stardew Valley. That's playing right there. Ben's playing Dark Souls. That's fun. We're going to go raid. Well, let's see when Wheeler started. When did Wheeler start? Because he actually doesn't go late. So I don't want to jump in on Ben, Mr. Ben Wheeler. Oh, okay. Well, he's been playing Dark Souls for 5 hours, so I feel like he's probably almost done. So we're not going to raid Ben. We're going to raid Matt Wiggins, who's playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Matt is great. Matt Wiggins is awesome. I mean, Matt's a good dude, and he usually streams into the night, so we should be okay there. We also haven't raided Matt in a while, so we're going to go on a raid. If you want to see some Star Wars stuff, that'll be fun. Matt's a good dude, and happy to go through some support by him. Thank you to everybody who showed up. Thank you for the new people that have been coming by lately. This has been great. So happy to have you here. Please come check out my other streams. Make sure you're giving me a follow if you haven't already. Thank you for coming along on this raid. Let's go do it. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks for being here. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.